Well, it's week 6 of the Scottish Premiership weekends, and here on the BetSafe preview we're looking ahead to all 6 big games this weekend with Simon Donnelly and Barry Ferguson. And the first game we're going to look forward to is the one that's happening right here this weekend between Partick Thistle and Rangers. And no great surprise, Barry, you fancy Rangers to win that?
Yeah, for the simple fact, the last couple of games, Rangers have played really well. They come through a sticky patch against Hibs and Hearts. They went up to Ross County, which is a difficult place to go and get a result, and they played well the first half. Second half was a bit sticky, but they came away with the 3 points. And obviously Saturday against Dundee, they were excellent. So they'll be going into the game with a lot of confidence. And as I say, Partick Thistle have struggled a wee bit of late, but listen, I think the job that Alan Archibald's done great. It's always a difficult place to come and get a result, but I just fancy Rangers. They've got a bit of momentum now going into the game.
You talk about momentum, do you also feel that guys like Morelos are settling down, starting to realise what it's all about?
Yeah, I think now you're starting to see the new signings. It takes a bit of time for them to settle in. Certainly with Morelos up front, that's 4 goals in 2 games. So he'll be getting a lot of confidence, and I see Rangers winning this by at least a couple of goals.
Simon, Partick Thistle, they played particularly well against Celtic opening weekend. They played well against Aberdeen, went down by the odd goal in 7, and they finally got a point on the board.
Yeah, good point at Ross County at the weekend, but you look at the fixtures they've had the early doors, it's been difficult games that they've played. I watched them at the start of the season against St Mirren in the League Cup, and they were excellent. I think they won 4-0 that day. They've got some great players going forward, some experienced players there. I don't see much problems for Partick, to be honest. They just need to get out of this little run that they're in just now, and if they can get a result on Friday, you know, that's one of the ones that they could bounce on with.
They have goal scorers in the team that, you know, that if you can get the ball to those goal scorers, they will score.
Yeah, Doolan's obviously the obvious one. Scored over 100 goals in the Premier League. You've got Chris Erskine and Lawless, talented players just playing behind them. As I say, I think they just need a result to kick on now. Whether they can get it on Friday night time will tell.
But you think, in terms of betting wise this weekend, on BetSafe, that Rangers are the one, Barry?
Yeah, it's certainly, just as I say, with the confidence been high, but it's certainly with the last couple of performances. They came through, as I say, a sticky patch earlier on in the season. And they're coming here, you just need to look at the pitch as well. It'll suit Rangers. I know Partick like to get the ball down as well, but I just think it'll be a Rangers win for me.
So Rangers are the first selection for Barry this weekend. Simon is going to go for Celtic in his treble, and they're playing Ross County.
Yeah, I watched them against St Johnstone a couple of weeks ago. They slipped up. St Johnstone have had a good start and made it really difficult on the day for them, but I don't see them slipping up on Saturday, even after the exertions of Champions League on Tuesday night. I think the squad's big enough. Brendan will freshen up, and I see it being a comfortable win for Celtic. It
would be difficult to see Celtic losing at home to Ross County, Barry.
Yeah, it would, but as Simon just said, they've got a lot of... They've got a big squad, and he changes it pretty much most weeks now, especially with the Champions League games coming up. He's not just got a strong 11, I think he's got a right strong 18-20 players now. And that makes a massive difference when you're playing 3 games a week. You can freshen it up, so no, I don't see there being any problems.
So Simon, obviously your banker's going to be Celtic, but in your treble you're also going to put Aberdeen and Hibs. Let's talk about Aberdeen first of all. They dropped their first points last weekend, but this time they're at home to Kilmarnock. Big crowd anticipated as usual.
Yeah, strong at home as well, Aberdeen. I think Fergie's giving me a bit of sticks and I've just taken bankers. But I was at the model Kilmarnock game on Saturday, and Kilmarnock were poor. They actually toiled in the game pretty badly, and I think Big Lee's got his work cut out, and I don't see it changing this weekend. I think Aberdeen have recruited really well in the summer. They've got 3 or 4 boys in there that have did really well in the Premier League over the years. Mackay Stephen, Christie on loan for Celtic. Stevie May's scored a lot of goals at this level, so I think they've got a lot of firepower, and I think it'll be too much for Kilmarnock.
There's even a suggestion, Barry, that Aberdeen are stronger than they were last year.
Yes, I mean he lost a couple of important players for me, but I just think his recruitment over the summer's been different class. The job he's done up there has been phenomenal for me, and he's strengthened again guys like Stevie May, who went down to the Championship, and I know he had a bad injury, but for me he's a top player, and certainly on the ones that he's brought. You get Christie in, who I think when he plays a number of games, he can be a special talent. So no, I think he's certainly strengthened over the summer.
So Aberdeen is Simon's second selection. Let's go to Barry's second selection in his treble this week, and that's going to be Hearts away at your local team, Hamilton Accies.
I know it was I've got a soft spot for Hamilton. I know a few of my mates will probably give me a bit of stick for this, but I know Aberdeen went to Murrayfield last week and they dominated the first 30 minutes, but by all accounts Hearts were really strong in the second half, and I watched it and they missed. I think they could have nicked it. I just think with Craig Levein coming in, there's a bit of stability now, a bit of experience. I think the guys will look up to him, and I just see them going to Accies and getting us out. It hurts me to say, but I do fancy Hearts.
In terms of Hearts, they really have a cracking squad, don't they? It's just a case of Craig Levein and his first team coaches. I know he's kept one or two on from the previous regime, so it's about getting that team right and getting them winning consistently.
Well, the positives, they get a reaction. Levein get a reaction at the weekend off them. They've been disappointing up until Saturday, but by all accounts they had a really strong second half, and that's all you can ask for. They have to go and build on it. Hamilton's not an easy place. I've experienced it with my time at Dundee United. It's a difficult place to go and get a result on the plastic pitch, but we'll be looking for the reaction again and maybe a little bit more quality for them to get the result.
So in terms of your treble, Simon, we've already got Celtic, we've already got Aberdeen, and we're going to throw in Hibs at home to Motherwell. Yeah,
another banker, as Fergie pointed out. I think Hibs have had a really good start to the season. Lenny's got a good team. He's got a bit of experience and a lot of youth and energy in the team. McGinn in the middle of the park, for me, is going to be one of the best midfielders this season. He's got Stokes up front, the experience, and Simon Murray, who I worked with before, who never stops. So they've started really well, played some really good football, strong at home. And although I was at the Motherwell game and seen them win at the weekend, I don't think they were convincing. So I'll go with Hibs.
But the good thing for Motherwell is, as they go to Easter Road, Barry, they've got points on the board. They've taken full advantage of these home games they've had. Yeah,
I spoke to Simon about it. He was obviously at the game on Saturday. I was at the game just before the international break when they played Hearts, and again it wasn't a great performance with both teams. But see, at the end of the day, they've got the points on the board early, which they've struggled over the past few seasons. So they'll be going to all the pressure will be on Hibs for me. So Motherwell can go and relax, but I think the job that Neil Lennon's done first season in, got them promoted. He's made a lot of good signing this season, and I see them certainly a top 4 club without a doubt.
Well, Barry has been very brave this week because he's going for 3 aways in his treble. We've already mentioned Rangers and Hearts, and Barry, you're going to throw in St Johnstone.
Yeah, it was a difficult one for me. Obviously my ex-teammate Neil McCann's up at Dundee, and they've had a bit of a struggle at the start of the season, but I'm sure in time he'll do a good job. But for me, Tommy Wright and, as I mentioned, Derek McInnes, apart from Brendan Rodgers last season, they two, the jobs that they've done at both of their clubs have been unbelievable for me. And I just like, there's something about St Johnstone, they've not got a lot of star players. Just for me, they're a hard, well-drilled team, and he's done a fantastic job up there, and I just fancy him. I liked his interview at the weekend. He says that we're very poor against Hibs. But listen, when you play poor and you still come out with a point, it shows the sign of a good team for me, and I just fancy them. Dundee's confidence is a bit short just now, and St Johnstone will want to, I can imagine Tommy Wright this week going through his players, so I think they'll get a reaction up there and they'll come away with 3 points. So it'll be a tight game. I can see maybe a goal at the most, but I fancy St Johnstone to go up and get it.
And Michael O'Halloran on loan back at St Johnstone from Rangers, and it seems to be a home from home for him. He's scoring goals again.
It's a funny one after everything well documented with Kashinya getting rid of him and not fancying him. He's went back there and just hit the ground again. Sometimes players just find a niche at a club. It seems to be that case with Michael at St Johnstone. He's been back there and scored 4 or 5 goals immediately.
Just a one word before we finish, Barry, on Tommy Wright, because you brought his name up. Had he not been a goalkeeper, do you think he'd be in a bigger job?
Yeah, I've had this conversation, an argument with a few people. I think it might be a problem because he was a goalkeeper, but you just need to see the job he's done. I can imagine St Johnstone's budget up there's one of the lowest in the league, and just year on year out he keeps. They're finishing top 4 every single season. I just think the job he's done up there's been great. For me, when I listen to him, he's the type of manager I would have loved to have played under.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll get away with much. I wouldn't like to get in the wrong end of I'm going through you, but no, I like him. I like the way he goes about it. I like, again, his recruitment. Not a lot of money. He can spot a player. So, no, I've always liked the way he operates, and I like the way his teams go about their business.
Okay, let's just recap the boys' trebles for this weekend on BetSafe. Simon, your treble pays about 2 to 1.
2 to 1. I would take that all day. I think if any of the customers out there want to go with that treble, they'll be happy at 5 o'clock come Saturday night.
Okay, and Barry, you're obviously been a bit more expansive, going for 3 aways, and that pays about 7 to 1.
Yep, I think it's a tough bet, but I think the 3 teams that I've picked can win the game. Just Simon's obviously went the first week. He's went a bit easy and simple, but it's a betting game, innit? So a few of my mates are going to go on it, and hopefully
yours could be down on Friday night. Yours could be down before we
he's
get
already
into the
putting that.
weekend.
No, I very much doubt that. Listen, it's going to be a hard game, but no, I think the 3 aways, and it pays good money, so no, I'm pretty confident.
Okay, Barry Ferguson, Simon Donnelly, thanks very much, and from me, Jim Dillahunt, see you soon on BetSafe.